take off from the ground when your wings are cut. Your stomach burns when you're drinking from an empty cup. You know the entire ocean came from my tear ducts. I see the world through Fibonacci sequences and double Dutch. I guess there's some that's born lucky, there's some that's not. I tried to cut away my bitterness, hatchet job. I locked my youth inside the trunk, inside the pickup truck, then dumped that whole thing over that same bridge the night you jumped. I think about that sometimes, vividly. What it felt like to look down and see tranquility. One sudden movement in a world of possibility. Only one movement to expose our fragility. I fucking miss you, and I miss myself. I miss thinking we were indestructible as hell. I miss chilling by the pier cave and kicking back with Callum, Hugo, Justin, Sega, Stevie and the fucking lads. I miss missing that. I numb myself to close the gap. I never even call them up. Distance is my plaster cast to tell the truth. The day you jumped, my childhood jumped too. But I still can't find the anger. All I find is missing you, man, I miss you. With all my rhymes, I picture running 5 minutes quicker, I'm right on time. I picture pulling you back over the edge and then we're crying, and holding you, my brother, and telling you that it's fine, not the way that it worked. I was late like a jerk, there's not a day where I can find a way to break from the hurt. Your body missing, so we never got to wave to the hearse. I hope you're listening, I love you, man, I miss you, absurd, fuck.
Beautiful.
Another domino, it falls. Across the way another's born. How you're supposed to raise a child and give it courage from a storm. In a world that is confusing, contradictions pave our flaws. Some will say we're only human, others judge us for our flaws. Some get born in sheets of satin, some get by in tattered clothes. Some will die before they live, that's just how the story goes. But for those of us still with us, who reside inside our hearts, tell them proudly how you feel. And for those of us who aren't, freckled angels stand strong, freckled angels live on, freckled angels climb higher, freckled angels still inspire, freckled angels won't forget you, teach me to live my life better. 13 years and still I miss you, now my wings are missing feather. Otherwise I'd come and join you, but for now I'm here on earth, stuck inside this mortal body. But for everything it's worth, made me braver, made me wiser, made me stronger, made me true, made me face the world with courage, and that's all because of you. Freckled angels laugh the hardest, and their hearts, they are the largest. With their wings, they fly the farthest. So I know you're gonna be okay. Freckled angels live the longest, and their minds, they are the strongest. Oh, their friends, they are the fondest. So I know you're gonna be okay.
Beautiful. Beautiful song. Even though you know what's coming and you know what it's going to be about, it still hits you. It's the emotion that Ren is able to pull into the song and pull out of other people as well who are listening. And I love the way there's this more upbeat section in the middle. You know, when I go, I want people to celebrate the life I've had, no matter how short or long that might have been. I know there's going to be pain there for them, but I don't want the pain and their loss to overshadow everything else. And there's this psychology thing that talks about the 5 stages of grief. And those 5 stages are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, although it's not depression in the clinical sense, and acceptance. And the thing with these stages are that not everyone will experience all of them. People won't experience them one after the other in separate phases. They'll kind of all blur into one. They might not go in the order that I've listed them. And you might experience the same one at multiple times during your grief journey, or swing between them. In fact, some people don't find the stages helpful at all, as there is a suggestion that You should feel a certain way at a certain time in a certain order. And it doesn't work like that. And when they don't, they worry that they are doing grief wrong. And there really is no correct way to deal with this. So when you hear about the 5 stages of grief, don't put too much weight on it. And if you know someone dealing with grief and you've looked up some information to try and help them, and you've come across this idea of the 5 stages, try not to get too caught up with whereabouts they are in those stages. Just be there for them and what they are experiencing in that moment. Reminds me of that line from the song. And I've mentioned this in one of my previous reaction videos, and I know Ren has also talked about this in his own discussion around it. And it's about this idea of Fibonacci sequences and double Dutch. So Fibonacci sequences meaning a pattern, something that can be worked out, something that can be solved, and double Dutch meaning this idea that something doesn't make sense. There's no order to it. It can't be worked out. It can't be solved. And that's grief. There's no set order or pattern to follow. It's not something that can just be solved. You can't solve grief for someone. So if we think about Ren and these stages, I think he's well beyond the denial stage. He's talking about it openly. He's making music about it. He's clearly kind of experiencing what he needs to. The anger stage, I think there's still some anger there. I think there's a line in that song that says something like, I can't find the anger. But I think when we listen to him, when we look at him, there is anger there. And I mean anger, not as in aggression, but anger is in the emotion we experience when something unfair or unjust has been done. And that anger tries to prompt us to take some action. And I think that drives Ren somewhat to share his message here. That's really healthy. We can be angry at ourselves, or some people are angry at other people, or some people are angry at the whole world because of what's happened. And again, that's completely understandable. Then there's the bargaining stage, and this can include playing out alternate realities in your mind, such as if I just got there 5 minutes earlier, I think it says, I picture pulling you back and holding you. We can see those references to this by Ren in the song. And other people might, have those what if questions. And if I just done this, if I just done that, if I just answered that one call, if I had just noticed something that person has said to me, if I had just said that thing back to them, what if, what if, what if. And the depression stage, which isn't really like what we think of clinical depression, it's more a sadness or feeling sorrow or feeling a longing for that person. Again, that's a perfectly normal reaction to losing someone. Now, I've said it before, we hurt where we care and we care where we hurt. The whole reason we feel this way is because that person was so important to us. If they weren't important to us, then we probably wouldn't feel that way. There's a message in there for us. And the last stage, acceptance. And those who know me will know I am all about acceptance. And I'm not saying acceptance is easy, because it's not. It's pretty damn painful. And I think something that can help with acceptance and help with moving forward is thinking about the sort of person the person you have lost would want you to be. So what sort of person would Joe want Ren to be regarding losing him? What qualities or actions would Joe want to see? I haven't got the lyrics, but I think Ren said something like Joe's given him strength and courage. So those are qualities there, and they're somewhat actionable. And Ren can choose how to embody these qualities and these actions. And I think what Ren has done here is beautiful, and Joe would be really, really proud of him. Rest in peace, Joe. And Ren, thank you for sharing your vulnerability with us. We're here for you, man. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.